Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you an NFL Week 6 preview between the St. Louis Rams and the Miami Dolphins. Now let's look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with St. Louis.
I came away highly impressed with the Rams' offensive line performance last week versus the Arizona Cardinals. The line communication amongst each other was tremendous, passing off stunts, picking up blitz, and they're going to have to do the same thing versus a very good Miami Dolphins defensive front. And also look at running back Darrell Richardson. I like his explosiveness. They got to get him the football even more so to help ease him in the offense. But let's go inside the lab to talk about the Rams' pressure-style defense.
I've been very impressed with the Rams defense so far this season because of the pressure styles that they bring to the table, and they understand personnel, and I'm big on understanding personnel. You see right here, they trust these guys, and I've highlighted these guys. A lot of guys, other parts have, huge contributions, but these are the guys that they really trust. James Laurinaitis, the middle backer, they really trust him. He makes a lot of the calls. He can also drop back and coverage, very aggressive in the running game and also very active in the pass game. Chris Long, they trust over the tight end because of the way he handles the point of attack and sets the edge. So that's understanding personnel. Understanding that Quinn is super athletic, get him on the left tackle to come around the end. Cortland Finnegan, you want to lock him up on the team's #1 wide receiver, which is usually the split end. You have the rookie Jenkins working on the flanks, but also getting help from Stewart, who is very aggressive in the running game as well, but also can double back and pass cover. So the reason why the Rams are getting a lot of pressure on teams is because they understand personnel. They can play their corners close to the line of scrimmage because they have a good guy back there in Quentin Michael as a free safety that can clean up mistakes. And I look for the Rams to do this again this week as they take on a rookie quarterback and not a great receiving core in.
Let's move over to the Dolphins in this matchup. You look at Nolan Carroll, the nickel corner, is going to have a huge day this week versus the Rams as they spread out teams with 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. And I also look at how they utilize Olivier Vernon, their draft pick this year. Last week, they put him in situations where he dropped back in coverage. I like that versatility. Jared Odrick is another guy I think can have a huge day versus the Rams as far as sealing the edge and also causing disruption in the backfield. But let's go inside the lab to see how the Dolphins can effectively move the football versus the Rams' pressure-style defense.
I'm a big fan of influencing defensive linemen into pressuring, then throwing the screen right behind them. And I think the middle screen versus the St. Louis Rams could be an effective play for the Miami Dolphins. You see right here, I have two tight ends. When you have 2 tight ends, guys, you got to utilize both tight ends. I like Clay, and I also like Fasano. And right here, you got to get your Reggie Bush in there as well. So you have these guys coming in their rush lanes, and the way you influence these guys into coming in and then throwing the middle screen right behind them, you have to, this tackle has to fake fan block this guy, get him coming upfield, and he's going to be the last. He's going to really be the lead blocker for Clay. We're going to throw this ball to Clay. This guy influences, gets upfield, center influences, gets upfield. This guy's going to hold his own right here, and this guy's going to influence and block him on the left side. And Fasano is going to work his way up and try to get this free safety. Why? Because as we're trying to get this guy blocked, we're trying to get that guy blocked, and we're going to have this receiver run over here and get the strong safety block. And Clay is going to try to chip, come back in underneath, catch the football right here as Tannehill drifts back, throws it over the shoulders, hopefully to a wide open Clay, and has the ability to get a bunch of yards and maybe even a touchdown. So a lot of times it's all about influencing these guys to come upfield and throwing the screen right behind them for a big play.
Rookie right tackle Jonathan Martin is my X factor for the Dolphins as he's going to be matched up versus Chris Long, the outstanding defensive end for the Rams. It's up to Martin to seal the edge and also open up holes in the running game on the outside. Now you look at Rocky McIntosh being my X factor for the Rams. His ability to cover the tight ends will be vital this week as Charles Clay is a dangerous target down the seams. Now let's take a look at the personnel breakdown in this ball game. Both teams are headed in the right direction with their personnel. The Dolphins will get better at the receiver position as newly signed Jabbar Gaffney acclimates himself with the offense, but I give the edge to the Rams in the special teams department. I like the Rams to win this ball game. Offensively, I like the progression that the offensive line is making week in, week out. And on the defensive side of the football, I think Jeff Fisher will have a game plan set to where they're going to pressure Tannehill, get him to hold the football just entirely too long to where they can get sacks. And they have the athleticism at the defensive end position to cause disruption for the Dolphins passing game. I also want to give a huge shout out to Dolphin fan forums and Ram fan forums for always showing football game plan support.